Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Last time, Junpei used the powers of just being a bit of a dick to get into door 3. And, yeah, we found a blue key card and Snake's corpse. So we made it out of the shower room, and today, we're seeing what lies beyond. Outside of the shower room was a hallway that extended off to the left and right. At their right end was a large iron door. They'd moved a few steps toward the door when Junpei heard the sound of metal on metal. They turned around. Seven was doing something to the door of the shower room. "What are you doing, Seven?" "Well, I figure maybe we might want to come back here sometime. So I stuck the broom in there to keep the door from shutting. Alright, let's go." With that, he stood up and began walking down the hallway. He brushed past Junpei and kept going. After a moment, the rest of them followed him. Before long, they found themselves at the large iron door. They'd only been there for a moment when June spoke up. "Junpei, look!" He turned. There on the right side of the hallway was a piece of paper attached to the wall. Junpei ran over and peeled it off. It's a map of the ship's interior. It said C deck in the upper left corner. From what he could tell, it was a map of the floor they were on. There would be time to look at it later. Junpei folded the map and stuffed it into his pocket. Back at the door, the four of them lined up in front of it. Santa stepped forward. He grabbed hold of the door and then turned to look back at the rest of them. "Ready? I'm gonna open it." They nodded. Santa nodded back and threw the door open. All four of them leapt through. It took only a moment for them to realize where they were. They had been there only a short time ago. It was the large hospital room filled with countless beds. Lotus and Clover looked up as they entered. Ace was there as well, although he looked as though he had only just woken up. The moment they spotted Junpei, Lotus and Clover headed straight for him. As she neared him, Lotus drew back her hand and slapped him, open palm, across the face. I mean, I would also think Santa would deserve a slap too, but, you know, that's just me. "How could you do this to us?" Her face was furious. She grabbed Junpei by the collar and shook him violently. Clover didn't touch him, but the hate in her eyes was no less potent. It was Seven who stopped them. "Knock it off! We've got bigger shit to worry about right now." His deep voice echoed across the massive room. Lotus glared at Seven, but let Junpei go after one last violent shake. "What?" "Go have a look." I stuck the screwdriver in the door. The door over there, the one without a number. So long as the screwdriver's there, it can't shut, so you can get in there." Seven also explained how they might find the shower room, and how he'd used a broom to ensure that door remained open as well. "You're saying we can go in there without passing through the numbered door?" "Yeah, that's about the size of it." "What the hell is in there?" "You'll know when you see it." Lotus and Clover looked at one another for a moment, then nodded and stepped through the door. By then, Ace had made his way to them, moving with the stiff, shuffling steps of someone who has only just awoken from a lengthy slumber. "My goodness. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though." Ace shook his head weakly. "Should I go as well?" Seven nodded. "Very well." Ace followed Lotus and Clover with his stiff, tired gait. The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. Is this... Yep. So now we're converged back, but this is after Clover found out what happened. He was killed by the knife man. They believed that it was foul play. And now they're discussing who it might be. So we're just going to go ahead and speed up through this a bit. Was Zero still on the ship with them? Let's not make enemies. We'll just say Junpei wasn't sure. We've already seen both of those, so we know how the train of thought is going to be. And yep, now Clover thinks that Zero is one of us. That's crazy talk, crazy girl. So yeah, we don't know, and then blah blah blah. Horrible silence, the bell rang, 3 in the morning. They don't have much time left. So now, because we only went through one door, we only have that key card. So we're kind of locked in to this. I'm sure if we had the other doors, like we would have like the same choices, like of following doors to go through. You know, like when they were drawing lots and whatnot. But yeah, we're locked into this one specific door now, and it is one that we haven't gone through. So yeah, the paths would converge again at that point after like the talks and discussions happened. But yeah, they stood in front of the elevators next to the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen. Between the two elevators was a card reader with the Mercury symbol engraved on it. Junpei stood in front of it with the Mercury key card. He found the card while investigating the shower room. He took a deep breath and slid the card through the reader. It made a small beep and the lights on the reader blinked to life. Now they were ready. 7 people, including Junpei, climbed into the elevator. There were only 2 floor buttons they could push. The C and bottom buttons. The rest were destroyed or did nothing when pushed. Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly they began to move downward. Sometime later, all 7 of them stepped off the elevator and onto the bottom deck. They stepped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end, but not a regular dead end. This is a numbered door. Yeah, it's door 2. Immediately they began to discuss who would go through it. Their earlier experiences had shown them that they would meet again, regardless of which numbered doors they took. As a result, there were no arguments this time. Instead, they concerned themselves with who would be sent in to investigate what was beyond the door. The first to volunteer was 7. Junpei followed suit, which meant Lotus was, by default, the 3rd member. 5 plus 7 plus 8 equals 20. 2 plus 0 equals 2. Alright, we're taking off. Okay. Please be careful. Jesus, you two are acting like you're married, you know that? Jun blushed. So did Junpei. Perhaps in an attempt to hide his emotions, he quickly turned away to pull the lever on the red. The door opened. As they'd come to expect, there appeared to be a short hallway on the other side. Alright, let's go. Lotus was the first through the door. 7 was next, and Junpei brought up the rear. Fortunately, it took them only moments to find the dead. It had been placed just inside the room right next to the numbered door. They gathered around it and quickly scanned each of their bracelets. It stopped. Yeah, it stopped. Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. 7 and Lotus were breathing hard and fast. It was the 3rd time they'd been through the process, but they had yet to grow accustomed to it. Not that Junpei wanted to. He planned to finish the game before he got a chance to let imminent death become commonplace. Junpei looked around again. It was a short hallway with 5 doors along the walls. There were 3 doors along the left wall, and a single one on the right. At the end of the hallway, the 5th door was covered by a thick metal plate. Junpei didn't think they'd be able to open it. After taking a look around the room himself, Seven spoke. "Alright, let's get started. I think we probably better split up. You two okay with that?" "Yes, no problem." "Sure thing." Seven nodded to them and stepped into the room closest to him. Lotus looked at the doors for a moment, then headed for the one in the center. At last, Junpei was left alone. "Well, I guess I better get started too." He looked intently at the remaining 3 doors. Okay. Confinement room hallway. Let's go in this one first. They tried to build a prison for you and me. Dirty blanket on the bed. This is a mess. It's not even a bed anymore. Can't say I want to sleep there. A toilet paper tube, huh? I seriously doubt I'm going to need this for anything. Well, this part is thinner than the rest. In fact, this doesn't really look like it's part of the rest of this thing. This rod feels loose. Maybe if I give it a couple of turns. Here we go. Screwdriver shaft. Interesting. A symbol on a toilet lid, huh? Seems a little fishy to me. It's a sun symbol, but it doesn't look like the ones on the doors. Okay, we got a toilet sun. Hey, this handle's pretty loose. Loose? Think it'll come off if you pull on it? It fell off. Huh, look at this. The handle doesn't really fit on the string. Maybe it wasn't meant to be attached to it. Handle. So if I just stick this metal rod into the handle, we got a screwdriver. What the hell's that supposed to be? Like a drawing of a whirlpool or something? Well, if I had to guess, I'd say it's trying to look like water. Well, it's doing a very poor job of that. Huh, looks like the water doesn't work. Doesn't matter how much Seven turns that thing, no water's coming out. Has water been shut off from somewhere else? There's a little tile in the drain. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to pull it out of there. Might have to use our heads on this one. Alright, let's figure this thing out. Chair is pretty old. If Seven sat on it, it'd probably break. Huh? You say something. Nothing at all. You asshole. Junpei is rude. Huh? What the hell? It's not opening. There's something up with this drawer. I don't trust it. Okay, well... Ooh! Screws on top. Sweet, got the screws off. Now we can open the drawer. There's nothing in here. Well, maybe the drawer is what we need. The drawer, huh? Alright, let's yank this thing out. Yay, we have a desk drawer. Anything in the cubby? No. Alright. Let's... Okay, let's try this door. Somebody made some wavy blue lines on this mirror with blue paint. Is that a drawing of a blue scarf? No, maybe not. There's no knob on this faucet. There's no way we can get water out of it like this. If we can find a knob or something that'll work as one, then we should be able to get water to come out of this thing. This drain is kind of a weird shape for a drain. Think they made it that shape for a reason? Or just for fun? Very suspicious. Paper seems to be pretty old. Ew, how the hell can you touch that? It's horrible. Well, it's not like I've really got a choice, do I? It's not like I want to. It's just hanging from the wall. Well, if we're pulling the string, then it must be a toilet that flushes. Moon. A moon? What a filthy, disgusting moon. Yeah, it's pretty filthy, but it's a precious hint. Let's remember it, alright? A towel? Well, it looks like a towel. You're a towel. I have to wonder if the design means anything, though. Maybe you should consider what the design might be. Perhaps that'll give us a hint. It's tied to the mirror drawings. Bed looks cold. Pretty sure you'd freeze to death in the winter. No kidding. If I tried to sleep here, my skin would dry out in no time. Well, it's not like you're that young anymore. That shouldn't really matter. Oh my fucking god, Junpei. My, Junpei, aren't you lucky? It seems you'll die before you have a chance to grow old and hideous. I'm sorry. You're right. Dry skin is a woman's worst enemy. This bed looked even sadder without the pillow. So, it's still a terrible bed. I never sleep on a bed like that. This looks like a chair for prisoners. It's rusty, but I don't think it's going to be a lot of help. Isn't that obvious? Look, I don't want to touch anything unless I have to. Lotus is not having this. Does she really not want to be in this room that bad? There's nothing in the drawer. Yeah. Something's not right, though. That handle on that drawer doesn't really fit, you know? It looks messy. Why didn't you take it out? Or why don't you take it out? If I use the screwdriver on the screw in the center of the handle, maybe I can. Yeah. You need that knob. Wait, did you throw away the thing, Junpei? The screwdriver? Sweet! The handle I got off that drawer fits onto the faucet perfectly. Now I can turn the water on. Junpei, what are you doing? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I'm running the water. I can see that. I'm asking you why you're just letting it run like that. Think about it, Lotus. The faucet didn't have a knob when we found it, right? What do you mean? Just watch. Anytime now. Hey, the water's filling up. Doesn't that just mean the pipes are clogged? Whoops, let's turn it off for now. So, did anything change? The water stopped flowing. Thank you, Mr. Obvious. Junpei, I'm leaving this one to you, alright? Did that change something in the previous room? I have no recollection of doing this segment, so... Yo! That's a tile. Junpei put the wet tile into his pocket. He was about to turn away when... there was a noise behind him. He spun around to see Seven kneeling on the floor. His face was rigid and pale. Droplets of sweat covered his forehead. Hey, what's going on? You okay, man? He was concerned. He'd never seen Seven like this before. Slowly, the other man lifted himself to his feet on shaky legs. Yeah, I'm fine. I just got a little dizzy, that's all. His face was pale and his breathing was heavy. Sweat was pouring off his face and staining his shirt. He was many things, but fine was not one of them. Are you sure? You don't look so good. Seven didn't answer. Half of his face was twisted, as if distorted by extreme pain, and his eyes were glazed. Finally, he spoke. What am I doing here? His words made no sense. What are you talking about? We opened the number 2 door and walked in here. Don't tell me you forgot. No, that's not what I mean. He shook his head several times as if trying to clear something from it. It ain't much, but I think some of my memories came back. I think I've been here before. Huh? I said I've been in this room before. You were here? When? Why? Aoi, Light, Nona. Suddenly Seven was mumbling to himself. There were words Junpei didn't understand. Seven's hoarse voice trailed off, and Junpei couldn't make out what he'd said. What the hell was that? Seven's brow furrowed furiously, and he gritted his teeth back and forth. It's right there. I feel like I'm this close to remembering everything, but I just can't. Seven stopped, frustrated. He pulled his hat off and ran a hand through his hair. Then suddenly he looked up, his eyes wide. That's right! An experiment! There was some kind of experiment going on this ship. An experiment? What sort of experiment? They were trying to control people. Or something like that. Junpei didn't know what to make of Seven's story. Instead, he simply stared as Seven continued. Aoi, Light, and Nona. Those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were there. In the experiment, I mean. I think they were 4 or 5 more, but I don't remember all their names. Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm here. Seven began to mumble to himself and wander aimlessly about the room. He looked confused. So far as Junpei could tell, the man was simply rambling, and there were odd twitches to his movements. Experiment. Cradle Pharmaceutical. Those kidnapped kids. Was I working that case? Seven continued to mumble to himself about things that meant nothing to Junpei. Junpei didn't have any answers for him, of course. He couldn't understand what was happening to Seven. All he could do was wait. After a few minutes, Seven finally stopped. He crouched down and looked under the bed. His face registered mild surprise, and he began to mumble to himself again. The hole's gone? No, maybe it was a different room. There's gotta be a ton of rooms on this boat that look just like this one. At last, Junpei could contain himself no longer. Hey, what exactly do you remember? Well, maybe you could stop talking like a crazy person and tell me what's going on here. Seven stood up slowly. Well, it's not like I really remember everything. I've only got bits and pieces, and they're scattered and don't make much sense. I don't care. Tell me the bits and pieces then. Junpei could feel it. Whatever Seven had remembered, it was important. Very important. Seven drew a large muscled hand down across his face. As he wiped the sweat from his brow, he spoke. From what I can remember, I think I was a cop. Oh, damn. And Seven has just tumbled down the power rankings. A cop? Yeah. I was looking for that group of kids that got kidnapped 9 years ago. You remember that, right? It was all over the news. Yeah. I was still in school. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember some of it. I think it was a bunch of kids right around my age. They all just disappeared. Nobody knew why. It was all over TV and the newspapers every day. So you're saying you were investigating it? Yeah, that's what it looks like. I guess I found something. It was this medical company called Cradle Pharmaceutical that had something to do with those kids. After I figured that out, I managed to get some information out of somebody who worked for them. They told me a ship would be leaving that night, with all the kids on it. They were going to be taken to some kind of big passenger ship somewhere out in the ocean. Oh my god, this pic. And so Seven had headed to the wharf. He kept to the shadows and before long found the suspicious ship he'd been looking for. There were a number of human shapes moving near the ship. They were men in black suits. Many of them were carrying large bags onto the ship. The bags. There was something about the way they moved as they were carried. There could be no mistake. There were human beings in those bags. He had moved before he even realized he was going to. Out of the shadows he came, his gun already in his hand. He heard the words, "Don't move," but they weren't his. He felt metal touch the back of his head. "Drop your gun," came the cold voice from behind him. With the words, he felt the cold metal thing behind him press against his skull. Slowly, Seven crouched down and laid his gun on the ground. Then suddenly, he felt a sharp pain in his neck. A needle. Was it some sort of drug? As he was thinking about that, Seven felt his face hit the cold concrete beneath them. He could feel the chill of it seeping into him. Ugh, damn it! Shit, my head hurts. Seven woke to find himself lying on a hard floor. He twisted his neck to peer around the room. Where am I? There was a small shabby bed and a dirty sink. A toilet with no stall or privacy of any sort. As a cop, it was a place Seven had seen all too often. I'm in a cell, huh? Well, the shoe's on the other foot now, huh? Opposite the toilet was a door set into the wall. Seven struggled to his feet and hobbled toward it. He gave the door a good shove, then another, then tried pulling it. It didn't open. Well, that was about what he'd expected. It wasn't likely that someone would put him in a cell only to leave it unlocked. He threw himself against the door a few times, but to no avail. I knew it! Severin grumbled to himself as he moved back toward the bed. He sat down. He sat there for a very long time. Just how long, he wasn't sure. At last, he began to nod off, and had nearly fallen asleep when he was roused by a distant voice. There's... over... it's... 9. The voice was far away. Very far away. Seven couldn't understand what it was saying. Nonetheless, it was a voice, and a high one. Most likely a child. His eyes shot open. Her... oh... ear... K... ing... As he listened, he could pick out several different distinct voices. There were at least 5 or 6, possibly more. Where were the voices coming from? He looked around the room frantically. Perhaps the door? No, that wasn't it. What? Go? Ow? Was it coming from the left? Was it coming from under the bed? He grabbed the bed and flipped it up with ease. There it was. There was a hole for ventilation in the wall where the bed had been, covered with a metal grate. Seven lay down on his stomach and peered through the grate. He couldn't see anything. It was too dark. Now that he'd found it, however, there could be no doubt. This was the source of the voices. For a moment he was confused. Why were there children nearby? Then he remembered what the man from Cradle Pharmaceutical had told him. How a ship would take the kidnapped children from the wharf to a waiting passenger liner out in the ocean. Was Seven on that passenger liner? It didn't matter. What mattered was that he find a way to the children. Seven looked at the metal grate. Could he fit through that hole? He stuck his fingers through the grate and grabbed hold of it. Yeah, how'd you like that, you son of a bitch? The dark square sat open before him. Seven wiped the sweat from his forehead and crawled inside. That picture. The look on his face just... Junpei waited for Seven to resume his story. The longer he waited, however, the clearer it became that Seven had no intention of doing so. He had gone silent and simply stared off into the air, his eyes blank. Hey, what happened after that? He waited long enough, but Seven shook his head. I don't remember what happens after that. I think I found some kind of door out of the duct. And I think I found some kids, too. Oh, man. Why can't I remember what happened next? Oh, man. Okay, just making sure I'm still recording here. My DS's cord got stuck on something. What happened to the kids, Seven? Did you save them? I don't know. I don't know if it was me. I've got this feeling. I think one of the kids died. A girl, I think. Huh? Deep in his heart, Junpei felt something very cold. Seven's head dropped, and Junpei saw in it a look of sadness, the likes of which he had never seen on the man before. The large man's eyes blinked rapidly, as if he were fighting back tears, and he swallowed hard. His sigh was like the melancholy setting of an old abandoned building. He shook his head and spoke. Anyway, please don't ask me anymore, okay? I really don't remember anything else. After that, Junpei could hardly try to force any answers out of the other man. There was nothing more he could do. Instead, Junpei turned his mind to trying to make sense of what Seven had told him. The children who had been kidnapped 9 years before. Apparently, a company called Cradle Pharmaceutical had been behind the kidnappings and had taken the children to the ship they were on now. They had been brought to the ship for an experiment. Something to do with controlling human beings, Seven had said. The 16 children who'd been kidnapped were the subjects for the experiment. Seven had said 3 of their names were Aoi, Light, and Nona. That was the new information. He'd also learned that Seven was, or had been, a police officer. Still, there was little he could do with this new information. He learned nothing about the nonary game, or Zero. He had no idea why they had been brought to the ship that had been the site of those experiments 9 years before. Junpei couldn't forget what Seven had said. Seven had said the purpose of the experiment had been to control human beings. Could such an absurd experiment really have been conducted? I mean, there's been conditioning experiments ran, like operant conditioning, all that good stuff. I mean, it's not necessarily controlling them, but you are swaying and trying to trigger specific reactions out of people. So in a way, I guess you could say it's like controlling, but yeah. For long, Junpei realized he had spent quite some time in deep thought. No time for that, he chided himself. He had work to do. Junpei shook his head quickly to clear it and returned to his investigation, thoughts swirling in his mind. Okay. We got this third doorway. It's a blanket. Not a really great one, but still. Light's barely enough to see by. I feel like I'm going to see a ghost here or something. I can barely see a mirror from the light coming through the ceiling. Sure would be nice if that mirror was a little lower down. Looks like it's the same height as the mirror on the right. I wonder if that means anything. In the other room, the river and the spring went together to solve the puzzle. Does it mean there might be a similar puzzle with this mirror? Well, there's nothing else here apart from the mirror. I just need to pair something with this mirror. What about a towel? The only difference between them is whether or not they're reflecting any light. It's a sink, but there's no light shining on it. Hard to be sure because it's so dark here, but I don't think there's anything going on with this sink. The faucet is too hard to turn. Let's deal with the lighting here. Just one beam of light. The rest of the place is too dark. I can't see anything. There's no way we can explore the rest of this room. Toilet paper. It's still wide enough for me to know what it is, even in the dark. There's nothing out of the ordinary about it. Just barely make out the string for the toilet, but I can get a hold of it. Damn it! It kind of pisses me off that I can see it, but I can't touch it. What? It says 14 equals E in red. Is that hex? A, B, C, D, E. Yep. I think I saw 14 in red somewhere else. Was it on something I'm carrying around with me? Is it? Oh! Took the handle off. Do you think I need this anymore? Oh wait, there's something on the back. It's a mirror. Mirror in the back of the room hung opposite this one. The only difference between them is whether or not they're reflecting any light. Oh yeah, we can probably use this mirror to reflect the light. I just gotta figure out where to reflect the light. If I go somewhere that's a little easier to shine light on. If I shine this light on the mirror in the back, I get it. If I shine light on a mirror, a symbol appears. The left one has a sun, and the right one's got a moon symbol. I'm gonna remember this. Sun and moon. Here in the back. 4, 7. If I shine light on this mirror, I get to see some numbers. See a 4 on the left and a 7 on the right. 4 and 7. Sun, moon, 4, 7. Is the sun higher up? Yes, okay. Sun, moon, 4, 7. God damn it, no matter how hard I pull on this damn thing, it won't budge. Guess I won't be opening this anytime soon. Does it look like it's got a keyhole and there doesn't seem to be anything stopping it? How am I supposed to open it? Emergence. Bunch of tiles on the door that spell out emergence. Emergence? Maybe it... blah, blah, blah. Maybe it means we need to emerge out of here. Can I open it? It means to emerge or to escape from here. Do we need to do something with these tiles to open the door? There's a door in the back. I wonder where it goes. Thought of that and I tried a couple things, but yeah, same result. 7 wasn't about to do anything. Oh well. I'm missing something. Isn't anywhere in the hallway where we could use this drawer, huh? Well, if we're gonna use it, I imagine we'd do so in a room somewhere. There are only so many places you can put a drawer, after all. I wonder. Sounded like something falling. What was that? I heard it too. Let's open the drawer. Another tile. What's this tile for? Red, blue, gray, several lines in each color. What does it mean? I guess it's as good as mine. So it's totally filled with water. Try using the towel with the sink. Tiles we found and the tiles here are the same size. When I touched the tiles on the door, I felt something weird. Huh? I can move these tiles. And that means if you swap the tiles we got with the tiles on the wall, something will happen. Suppose now we just need to figure out what the strange designs on these tiles mean. Any rate, we should look for all the tiles that are the same size.
You're right. Let's meet back here after we've done a thorough search.
Sun and Moon, 4 and 7. I'm a little confused. The only thing can manipulate in this room is that string. Chances are they made this puzzle so someone wouldn't trigger it by accident. This is what the moon symbol was pointing to, huh? Probably made it so that someone wouldn't trigger it by accident. If that's the case. I did it in, like, sun moon order. Did that? Second time. Oh! No! 4 and 7. I need to do this 7 times. Huh? Did you hear something? I heard a loud flushing noise. No, not that. Where did that come from? So just keep pulling on this thing then. Alright, here it goes. Second pull. Third. And fourth. There it is again. It makes some kind of weird sound when I pull on that string. Same thing happened in the other room. That means...
I don't know. Don't you think it's a little suspicious that the other room gave us a hint to figure this one out?
You're right. The room next door is just like this one, so that leaves the dark room. (14 equals E). Do I do this one 14 times then? Or maybe... No! That opened up. This door opens easily enough. 2 more tiles. Wait a minute. That has a... The red makes 14. I see what we gotta do here. 14 equals E. There's 3 E's in emergence. Replace all of them with E's. Okay, well, it looks like we've investigated all the rooms. The only mystery left is that door.
Alright, let's crack that mystery then.
We got 4 tiles. There are a bunch of 4. Right, I know how to count. A bunch of tiles that are the same size up on the wall here. So if we replace 4 of the tiles on the wall with the ones we've got, that should open the door. Well, there's only one way to find out. Sorry if I'm kind of speeding through this. I'm running a little low on space. Hey, did you just hear something unlock? Does that mean we got it right? Yes, it looks like we did. The 14 hidden on the tile. You convert that to hexadecimal, it's an E.
Basically, the E's in emergence are the 14s from the tiles. If we replace it, that gives up the answer.
Do you really care why it worked? Let's just get out of here. Yes! Let's go. Oh man, I'm good. And on that note, I need to quickly end things off here because I am running pretty low on space. If I'm not already out. The number doesn't seem to be going up. Alright, it is. But yeah, next time we go through, or rather see what lies beyond the door. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you next time for some more Let's Play. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, 1 more room to go through. Goodbye.